Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome into another episode of the Bayou Mortgage Guy podcast. I am your host, Ben Nyhart, aka the Bayou Mortgage Guy, and we are super excited to bring you another episode this week. And I have a very special guest, as I always do, but this guy's really special. Like special, like in a good way, like your mom calls you special. So I am super excited to introduce Clay Hernandez, realtor to the stars. He is a real estate agent here in the Huntsville area. And Clay, man, why don't you tell everybody about Clay, man?
Yeah, man. So first off, I really appreciate you having me on. This is definitely going to be famous, and so I can't wait for that day for it to blow up. A little bit about me: born and raised in Alabama, been here my entire life. Traveled around, but nothing feels like home. Alabama is definitely where I'm supposed to be. Born out in the country, born and raised country type guy. Came up to North Alabama. It was around 2010. Was down in Auburn for a little bit. Didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I loved Rockets. And so I ended up landing in Rocket City. What better place, right? So came up here, got my degree in aerospace, worked in that for a little bit. And then that whole industry ended up kind of tanking around 2012ish. So I ended up going into a telecommunication industry. So did outside plant engineering for them for a while, and a lot of that was being outsourced. I work from home. I'm not from the area, no family up here, other than my in-laws, and then very, very small family presence up here. So I worked from home for like 8 years, and so I'm really a people person. Like to talk. My dogs, they don't give me much back. It's more of a take from them. So being able to talk to people and, just have a good time, I didn't really get that. It's almost like being in a hole that you don't realize you're in. So telco industry kind of started being outsourced, and it was getting a little tough to come by. So one of my really good friends from a while back shows up at the house one day and like a 60s model Mercedes convertible, and tells me to come outside, tosses me the keys and says, let's ride and let's hang out. So we did. He talked to me about real estate. I had told him, no, several times. I thought about it, but never would pursue it. But it was the Mercedes that ultimately won me over. I wanted to be that guy that rode around in a Mercedes convertible in a tie and blue button down. So yeah, I ended up talking to him. He was part of a really great team. And so they taught me into going to get my license. The license was a grind. I did the fast track license, where pretty much you get your license within a month. So I think it was like 3 nights of school each week for like 3.5 weeks. But yeah, I ended up getting the license and joined a phenomenal team, Key Finders Group, Remax today. And they've been excellent and kind of guiding me, leading me, training me. A lot of the things that truly agents that are getting into the industry, they lack or they're not getting. And so to be a part of, from a team dynamic to where they help you like grow at a very successful rate has been ultimately, I think it's been key in my growth in the industry. But I love it. I love people.
Was that a pun? They're key to your growth?
If you caught that, then
yeah.
I tried to slide it in. Yeah, we it was key.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been great. I absolutely love this job. Can't believe that I was so hesitant about it for so long. Just being out, being able to network, being able to socialize with multiple great agents in this area has really just, mentally, emotionally, lifted me up. And so I've done nothing but like thrive in this industry and just like really enjoyed doing what I do.
Yeah. I will say this, dude. Like, I know that you guys as real estate agents and us as mortgage people, making that jump is scary, bro, because you're no longer getting that paycheck every 2 weeks or whatever. You're basically closing. If you don't close, or you don't close any loans, or you don't close any contracts, then you don't get paid. So it's like going 100% commission, scared the ever living, you know what, out of me, dude. And I just, you know, so at one point you just have to do it. If you're really, you know, committed and you really think that this could be your, you know, career path, then you just got to give it that shot, man. You only have one shot, you know.
You do.
You know, you got to sometimes you got to lose yourself in the music, the moment, you know. That's
You only
what I've
get one
heard
shot.
anyway. I think I'm gonna have some mom spaghetti for lunch later, so we'll see though. So man, look, so kind of, I mean, I know you've one of like the 3 or 4 people that have actually seen this podcast before. So you know, we obviously we don't really kind of niche ourselves, but we do speak to a lot of agents and people in the industry, title, insurance, mortgage, whatever. So I'm sure there's a lot of well, I mean, I'm not sure that there are a lot of agents. I really don't know, but there are probably 1 or 2 agents that will listen to this podcast. And what I want to know, and I want you to maybe share with them, is what was your trial by fire moment? Like, at what moment did you like, oh man, and is this really for me? Or if you didn't have those, kudos to you. But if you did, just kind of walk us through that and how you navigated through it. And man, just how you like kind of turn the corner on that.
Yeah. So the trial by fire, you know, coming from the industry that I did, I was paid if I didn't produce jobs and blueprints for outside plant design, I didn't get paid. So that grind of working and making what you want to make, that's always kind of been with me. So that wasn't a huge change necessarily for me. I know that would be a change for a lot of people that are going from a 9 to 5 where that salary is, you know, it's there, you're getting paid. The pay was similar coming into this. However, I was not used to failure, you know, and having to overcome that. I was so competent in what I did. So coming into a new industry for me, I mean, up until like, I think maybe 2 years ago, I didn't even know who my mortgage was through. So that gives you an idea as to my knowledge of real estate in the industry. So getting out there and being willing to fail, whether it be door knocking, whether it be cold calling, whether it be open houses, whatever grind it is that you're trying to pursue, stay consistent. You hear that so often, like consistency is key. Consistency is key. It's so true. If you knock on, you know, your first 5 doors, nobody answers. You knock on your 6th one and you can't get any information, or, you know, they're hesitant about talking to you because nobody really likes answering the door for anybody, you know, these days. Everybody has a Ring camera. They see you when you walk up. They already know, like, you're dressed businessy, you're trying to sell something. But it's finding ways and finding different techniques and strategies on how to approach people to be able to kind of overcome that hurdle of failure. So if you knock on 10, you know, if you knock on 10 doors, expect maybe for 1 to open. And it may not even be like, you know, a good conversation to where you're able to get information. It may just be like, what do you want? And then shut the door in your face. So that was a big hurdle for me, is being able to overcome that and then still have it in me to go knock on 10 more, to try to find 1 more that would open, to push for that conversation. But, you know, you miss every shot that you don't take. So get out there, take the shots. All you can do is fail forward.
That's it, bro. I mean, you can't go wrong quoting Michael Jordan. So, I mean, you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take, man. I mean, if Michael Jordan said it and Clay Hernandez said it, I mean, what other validation do you need? I mean, it really is, dude. Like, this industry is not about the people that are the most charismatic. Now that helps, you know, or not the people that are the best looking, although that helps. You know, it's really the people that are willing to put in the grind each and every day, put in the work. Whether, like you said, whether it's your door knocking or your, you know, your open houses, or in my case, you know, doing video or doing whatever. The key is just basically finding what you're good at, what works for you, and just put that on repeat and keep doing it. And then you will find success if you are consistent to an extent where you're doing it every day. You will find success. It's just like you said, dude. It's like overcoming that failure is the toughest part, and keep getting up off the mat. That's the key. All right, dude. So Obviously we kind of talked about like what what the hurdles you kind of go through. So you did kind of touch on a couple things that maybe you do for marketing. What is like what's your go-to, man? Like if there's something that you do in your marketing or in your client acquisition program, what is it that you do? And tell us kind of like give us like the Clay's keys to how it works for him.
To success. So yeah. So going back, a lot of agents, they have that sphere of influence, around them, whether it be family, whether it be friends, that they can, they can contact, and they kind of spread the word. It takes truly, it takes an entire village to be able to spread the word, let people know that, you do what you do. Referrals. I mean, that's key. Again, to being able to sustain business, get it consistently. But from the groundbreaking point of it and trying to build that, how do you do that if you don't have a whole lot of family? That I know up here, they bought houses like, 3-4 years ago. Like they're not going anywhere. They're in their house where they're going to stay. So as far as building that, open houses have been huge for me. Being able to come up with a way, and that's the good thing about it is I've held so many open houses that were unsuccessful, that I barely got foot traffic through, or being able to get information from them, to be able to reach back out to them and kind of keep them in my circle as a prospect or lead, whatever it is. So it's finding the ways to take what it is that you enjoy doing, that you're not afraid of doing, and then build on that in a creative way to be able to build them up. So now, I've got multiple different strategies on how I do my open houses. I've got signs, advertising on social media, I do home tour videos, try to spread it out, especially in we live in Madison. My wife works at one of the Madison City schools. So like she knows a bunch of people that are around in those subdivisions. And so like she tags those people. And to be able to spread the word, to be able to drive that foot traffic up, that's key for, like an open house. And then door knocking is, I would say that door knocking is finding a way that you can approach people to give them information. People don't mind it if you're there to give them information. They just don't want to have to find a nice way to tell no when you're trying to sell something.
Right. Nobody wants to be sold out of the blue. That's for sure.
But I mean, ultimately, you're just there to sell yourself, and you don't have to really do a hard pitch for that. They'll remember you. Drop a card with them. Just take them some market information for their neighborhood. Tell them that you would like to stay in touch, that you send out, emails about where the market is in their area, what maybe their house would be worth. It sparks curiosity in people to kind of have a better understanding as to like what their house is worth. So if you can take them information and not sell them something, you kind of sell yourself when you do that. That you pretty much present yourself as like competent and knowing the market. So it's really truly just coming up with strategies like that. That's kind of how I was able to grow.
Yeah. So I would add this too, man. So you kind of brought up a good point, is that people, like you said, people don't want to be sold, especially if some random person knocking on their door. And that's so I wouldn't want to do that. But the key is where if you bring in them value, which in your case, you're telling them, hey, look, just wanted to let you know, this is what your house may be worth. If you're ever interested in selling it, holla at your boy, and it kind of goes the same way for like mortgage people. Like, so our biggest, well, I know mine and a lot of the mortgage professionals out there, their biggest, referral base is going to be, realtors, right? Whenever I used to like do some cold calling back in the day and do that kind of stuff. But the thing that I was finding what didn't work is when you're just cold calling, like, hey, you need a mortgage guy? No, you got to figure out a way to bring them value. So that way, when you do call, it's not like, no, good. So that's awesome that you're finding ways to bring, people value. And honestly, at the end of the day, if you're doing that, people will, know, like, trust, that kind of thing. So I would not be a good door knocker just because I hate being door knocked myself. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah. Well, I think that also kind of is what separates, different groups of agents. Like, I'm not a huge social media person, I'm definitely not one to take a picture.
We're gonna change that.
My play. I know you are. You've already been working on me. I just got to get over the whole like red button syndrome. But I'm not one to like take a picture of my plate at dinner and say, like what, because you have to have a good mixture of both personal plus business. That way people don't like unfollow you or pretty much delete you as a friend. I like the uncomfortable stuff. So like door knocking and taking those like high risk, like you could get a door slammed in your face on this next knock. That's more of a, it's almost like a thrill. And if they do, is no worries. I've still got 100 houses that I can knock in the subdivision. So
let me ask you, dude, during your door knocking experiences, what's like you have one that like kind of sticks out?
I do. So there was one that worked perfectly. Again, this comes back to being on a team and having a team prepare you for so many different circumstances that you wouldn't even think of. We had a script practice during our team meeting one morning. Katie Crawford and Roger were role playing. Roger acts like he knocks on the door, and then Katie just starts barking like uncontrollably. Never expected that from her. Caught me off guard. I wish I had my camera rolling. I caught the last thing, but she's just barking. Next thing you know, she turns around. She's screaming at the kids, "Get off the couch! Like, get the crayons out of your nose!" And then she turns back around. She's screaming at the dog. Roger could barely get a word out. I thought it was so over the top. There's no way. Like, I get we're supposed to role play, but like, that's far fetched.
You're taking it a little far there.
I can't lie to you when I say that I believe it was probably the 7th door that I knocked on. Opened it up, a lady starts screaming from the inside. There are 3 chihuahuas that just do not shut up the entire time I'm standing on the front porch. And I'm trying this was the same day too, by the way. Put that in perspective. Damn. I left team meeting at maybe 10 that morning. So less than 2 hours later, I'm in the scenario that Katie just threw at me. It's kind of like, how would you overcome that? But Roger played it great. He was able to overcome the barking and the crayon out of the nose screaming by Katie. That literally happened to me within 2 hours. So
that's crazy.
Preparing yourself for that. Yeah, the lady, she couldn't get out of a chair. She had just had surgery. She was on a boot. She was screaming at the dogs like there was a kid running around. I was having to talk to her through a screen for the most part. And she asked me to come inside, and I said, I'm good. I just wanted to drop some stuff off with you, just the market or whatever. And definitely bounced from that house, ASAP. But it's just crazy that we could just practice that scenario. That one will always stick out to me. And I think it's just the timing of it. So
I'm super surprised you didn't take her invite to come inside, man, with 3 chihuahuas, and she was in just had surgery.
I'm a busy man. I had more doors I needed to knock. So I didn't have the time.
Yeah, that's probably the best decision you probably could have made. Yeah.
Yes, I agree,
dude. Yeah, so that's crazy how that happens, and I think life is kind of like that, where like, when am I ever gonna use that? Like, come on, man. And then something like that happens. Dude, it's crazy how that just stuff just kind of manifests itself like that. And I just think it's very interesting. Like, and I've noticed that a lot more lately. Like, kind of what you put out there is kind of what you get back, and that kind of reminds me of that. And it's just one of those things, man. The universe is strange and funny out in the real world. But dude, so obviously, you do a lot of door knocking, you do the open houses, and what do you do when you're working with like buyers, like helping them find like their dream home? What's some of the things that you do that kind of set yourself apart when you're working with buyers?
So the number one thing is, and I think that this is so overlooked, but it's such an easy concept if you just imply it, is to listen. Just hear what it is that they're looking for. Hear what it is, what worries them about buying a house, because it is a scary process when I remember my first house purchase, like jumping into that mortgage, you're in that for 30 years. That's a lifetime to, especially like young first time home buyers. You're about to essentially sign a contract for a payment that is going to outlast like the year of age that you are now. You're 22 and you're about to sign a 30-year mortgage. Like, so it can be worrisome for them. So just making sure that they understand the process every step of the way. Don't let any answers, or any questions go unanswered. Make sure that they have everything that they need to be guided hold their hand, do the process, so to speak, to make sure that they, at least the worries that they do have are at a minimum. So I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, because typically those are what come through, open houses, hosting a model home. They don't have an agent necessarily, that they're not all of them, but quite a few of them, they haven't done that process of interviewing, because they don't know that they can interview agents and shop agents the same way they're shopping houses. So coming in an open house is kind of like an open door for them. So I do work with a lot of first time home buyers, but it's one of those, what sets me apart, I don't know, man. I'm just me. If the house doesn't work for you, then like I'm not gonna push you to a contract that if the house doesn't work, like let's find the one that does work, because ultimately they will remember that house purchase, and you were tied with that house purchase. If it's great, if it's horrible, like you were stuck with it. So, and I just want I want that feeling of excitement and remembrance of like me helping them along the way to last a long time, and I want it to be a good memory. So
yeah. I will add that it's definitely, you're gonna remember the first house you buy, regardless. And you know what? If you have a bad experience, that'll probably stick out even more, because that absolutely happened to me when I bought my first house. My mortgage person was not great. I mean, we did end up closing, but it was like took 60 days, every other day they needed more documentation. And look, I get that happens, but like it was just a bad experience in my mind, and I'll never forget like, how much of a struggle that was. And I was still in college at the time. I say still in college. I was like my 12th year or something like that. But anyway, but I just remember that. And that's kind of why when I got into the business, I was like, all right, so that's not going to happen to my clients, right? They're going to have a great experience. They're going to know what happens. And if it does happen, we're going to make sure that it doesn't happen again, or try not to let it happen again. Because you're going to miss stuff. You're going to have, experiences where like people don't have the best experience. It's just like how you come out of that and change the trajectory of how you're not going to let that happen again. I think, and just touching on what you said is really, I found really awesome, is that listening, right? Not enough agents or mortgage people listen. My dad always said, you have one mouth and two ears for a reason, right? So you're supposed to listen more than you talk. So that's awesome, dude. All right. So I wanted to kind of save this for, kind of tell everybody like how we met. So I'll kind of give the backstory on that, and I'll let you kind of add your thoughts. So I met Clay. Clay was actually the agent that helped me find my house here in Huntsville. But the way that I did it was something that I make fun of people for doing every single time, is that I had Ashley, my wife, go into one of the local groups while we're still living in Louisiana and ask about real estate agents and the local groups. And as expected, we got about, I don't know, before we turned off the comments, like 50 suggestions. So she's like, we're like weeding through the comments, and she got a couple of direct messages. And I think your wifey reached out to my wifey and via direct message. And what I remember this distinctly, I went to her page just to kind of, see what's going on. I got to check it out. Like I didn't just want to pick just anybody. So I went to her page, and this was around the time y'all had that lady that faked her own kidnapping, right?
yeah.
Okay. She said something along the line. I don't remember what she said about it, but I thought it was funny. And that was how I ended up picking you out of a hat, was the fact that she wrote something funny, and I thought it was good. And I said, all right, so let me try this Clay guy. And that's it, dude. And I just remembered like that was what I remember about doing that. And I don't know, dude. What do you recall other than, being
First off, you see that so often on social platforms. Like, can somebody recommend a good realtor? Okay. Yeah. Well, you're like, be prepared, for 300 comments. Like, who's going to go through 300? I don't know how early Jessica was able to like catch Ashley. I just remember like I was sitting back on the couch, like I typically do not respond to those. I mean, not to say that it doesn't work. Obviously, it worked in this instance.
It worked.
So we're 1 for 50 right now with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember sitting back. I was think I was getting down on a chicken wing, and Jessica says, "Hey, I'm going to shoot this. I'm going to shoot this lady a message." And I was like, "Hey, shoot your shot. Like I'm not worried about it. But hey, if you got the time, like you're not. I forgot what the girl who like faked her own kidnapping was, but like that's kind of at risk. Yeah. So she's got to be, she had the time to be able to message people. So she shot it, and then I think it wasn't too long after that. She was like, "Hey," she was like, "I actually got a response on this one," which that has also happened.
She wasn't expecting that.
No, definitely not. And I was like, "Okay, well, that's good." So I said,
cool.
"Well, let her know. You can send them my contact or whatever. They can reach out if they want to." But like, literally did not think about it, and then got up and went. I don't know what I did, but I wasn't in there. And I think that she eventually said, like, "Hey, I think her husband's gonna like reach out to you." I said, "Perfect." And I think it was 2 hours later.
A couple of hours. I texted you, I think. Yeah.
So completely thrown off.
It was definitely like I said, dude, it was one of those things like, and I didn't do it. Let me clarify. I did not put the message in the Facebook group. Ashley did that. And, I said, have at it. And, it's just crazy how like that worked out because like, I don't know, dude. I don't know very many people here in Huntsville, but I feel like we've been friends for longer than it hadn't even been 6 months yet, dude. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. But it feels like a lot longer. Like it
does.
We kind of clicked off of like from the very beginning, like the first time y'all ever came up. It was just kind of one of those, and that's, I don't know, that's the great thing about it is like finding people like you or other clients, just people that you click with, because ultimately you're not just finding clients, like you're finding friends. So it was good.
This business is not about selling homes or doing mortgages. And I say this a lot, and I may be redundant, but I'll shoot it from the freaking route. I'll shout it from the rooftops. It's about relationships, man. Like it's literally about relationships. Like I don't want to be in this business and work with clients and work with referral partners that I don't enjoy working with. Like it's just not like I don't want to die a slow death like that. Like I want to work with people I like, and to just like I've been in the business long enough to know that like I don't have to work with everybody. I can if there's somebody I don't want to work with for whatever reason, we just don't click, or we just we don't see eye to eye on some things. It's just hey man, that's cool. You're just not my cup of tea. It's fine, but relationships, man, it's crazy just how random it was that we found each other. And I just love like like I always said, it's God sends me signs all the time, and it just for whatever reason God sent me you, man.
I mean, I believe it. I think the first time you saw me, you said that you saw me with a halo and wings, and I started levitating just a little bit off the ground. So
I mean, it was very angelic for sure. Yeah. Good times, man. Yeah, that was definitely that was a fun experience for sure. But like so I definitely knew that like we were gonna be friends because we both enjoy the South Park, right? I've been watching South Park since I don't know, God. I mean, it's been on for so long. I know I started watching it as a kid, but I think you're probably a bigger fan than I am in terms of that, and that's saying something. So, which begs the question: if you were a character and you could sell a house from any character, or sell a house to any character, let's do both. If you could sell as a character and you could sell to a character, which characters from South Park would you sell to, and which one would you sell as?
Okay, I would definitely sell as probably Randy.
You are Randy.
I feel a connection with him. And then, man, who to sell to? Yeah, man, that's such a tough one from so many angles. Man, I think, I thought that would be my least, but ultimately, like, I'll do whatever it takes to make Cartman be okay with me, because you never want him on your bad side. Like,
it's true. It's true.
He fed Scott Tenorman like his own parents. He's done so many, like he gave Kyle agents. So like you want Cartman on your side. So I want to be that friend, that agent to Cartman to like keep him off my back. Probably the worst choice, but I definitely want him on my side. So I'll have to go with him.
Yeah, You don't want to cross Cartman, bro. That's definitely not the
No.
guy you want to do that to. But I definitely feel you on Randy because like you are Randy. Like
Yeah.
that's you. Like I feel like you're Randy in real life, essentially.
Yeah. So a
Um,
mixture between Randy and probably Mr. Slave, those two combined. So
yeah, all right, yeah, I get that. All right, all right. All right, next question, bro. Let's sidestep that like the plague. All right, dude. I wasn't planning on asking this question, but I just kind of like it. Might start making this a thing. So if you had to pick a song that describes or represents your real estate journey, what song would it be?
man, probably Rascal Flats. God bless the broken road. Like
Hmm.
pothole filled, speed bump, just half hanging off the cliff road that you have to go through where you're supposed to be. That definitely describes, especially the beginning, that it is a pothole filled type road. But just keep changing tires, keep airing them up, and punch the pedal to the floor.
I'll be honest, dude. I was not expecting you to pull Rascal Flats out. I was definitely not expecting that. I was thinking like maybe like some Journey, Don't Stop Believing. Um,
Yeah.
you know, maybe like
Well,
Gangster's Paradise.
definitely so.
Yeah.
But I always try to throw out the unexpected,
You
especially with
do.
me. Like just when you think you can expect something from me, no, I'm gonna hit
Right.
you. I'm
That's
hitting
it.
you with a left. But yeah,
You definitely keep me on my toes. I will say that, dude. Like for me to be shocked by some of the stuff that you come with, bro, is saying something because I'm usually not shocked by much.
and it takes
So
work. It takes work.
kudos to
So
you, man,
you know,
dude.
that's what I'm here
I
for.
mean, your your brain and train of thought are a thing of beauty, man. So kudos.
I'm glad you think. Tell it to my wife.
Yeah, same. I know, but so that's. I think that's why we were put together is because we don't get that kind of appreciation from our wives because I'm the same way. I don't think
Right.
Ashley appreciates my brain as much as you do, and I appreciate you for appreciating me.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you appreciating me. I appreciate it.
All right, dude. So we always kind of, keep, in the interview on just kind of like a good takeaway that we can kind of leave our, tens and tens of listeners with. So, I always like to kind of figure out like, all right, what's one piece of wisdom that you gained that you can believe that, all right, let me stop. I'm gonna start over in just a second. All right, dude. So yeah, so I always like to end these interviews on just something that we can kind of give our guests, our tens and tens of guests, that they can take away and hopefully use in not just for real estate but in life. So, what's like one piece of wisdom that you gained over the years where people can actually apply that to not just their careers but to their lives, dude?
People need you more than you realize. Not only something as big as the purchase or a sell of a home, but they need your support outside of it. So often, like you don't know what somebody's going through. I know I'm guilty of it, because in this industry, I don't want people to know what it is that I'm going through because I sell myself. I can't sell myself if I'm down. A lot of don't realize what people are going through. So like people need you. How we talks about, the friendship that is so crucial to just all the people around you. Be kind, be nice. Like there's so much just bad stuff out there. Like you can go find negative. That's not hard to find, but finding somebody that's real, that will be transparent with you, tell you, maybe the things that you don't need to hear, or I'm sorry, not need the things you need to hear, but may not want to hear to build you up. Like people need that. People need support. I tell people, for the guys, be a jock strap. For the girls, be a sports bra. Like give that support that people need, and that's I think it's key to life. Just be there for people, and help everybody. We can all be successful. Yeah. So don't get fixated on like trying to be better than anybody. Just be better than yourself today.
Yeah. I don't know what else people could take away from this interview other than that. I think be support, bro. Be a jockstrap, be a sports bra. Let's go. Like, it's much, your life will be so much more enjoyable if you try to lift people up rather than drag them down, dude. So, Yeah, and the analogy was just, I mean, spot on, bro. It doesn't get much better than that. If you don't understand that analogy, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
It's plain and simple, straight to it. Like,
Straight to
be
it.
that. So just know I will always be, a jockstrap for you. So just keep it straightforward.
Likewise, man. Likewise. You're definitely my jockstrap, and I hope I am yours.
You are, man.
Yeah, if that's not a clip that I'm gonna clip and put on YouTube or on Facebook, I don't know what is. So awesome, dude. Well, look, dude, anytime we get to catch up, I always love it, dude. But thank you for like actually taking time and coming to actually video one of our chats. Now people can believe exactly what I've been telling them, that you're literally you're a dude just like me, and you're a good person, and we appreciate you coming on and sharing your experiences with us. And tell everybody like where they can follow you, how they can get in touch with you, and anything else you want to tell them.
Yeah, man. First off, thanks for having me. Like, these meetups are always, I look forward to them. They're so much fun. You just never know. Literally, you never know what's going to come out of them. So it's just, it's always something to take away. But so on Facebook, I'm Clay Hernandez with the Key Finders Group. So that's my Facebook business page. You can go there, follow me. I need the support on my social platforms big time. And then it's Clay_realist_realtor. You can find me there. And then so those are the two main ones that I stick to for now. Eventually I'll grow.
Cool.
But find me there.
Yeah, cool. And what I'll also do, dude, is I'll for the YouTube channel, I'll drop it in the description for everybody, so you can just click on that. And then on the podcast sites, I'll throw that in there as well. And then man, I'll get that info out to anybody who wants it, or actually they probably need it. They don't realize they need it, but they need it, man. So
somebody somewhere needs it.
Somebody needs Clay to be their jockstrap as well. Simple as that. Well, dude, yeah, man, I always enjoy this, dude. I appreciate you coming on again. And for everybody else out there listening, we appreciate you guys listening. And of course, if you could just hit the like, the subscribe, the share, the comment, whatever you feel like you want to do, or whatever you can do. We appreciate it, guys. And make sure you follow me on all the social media sites at Bayou Mortgage Guy. I appreciate you guys listening, and we'll talk to you next time, guys.